Embarking on a journey high above the clouds, flying is not just about reaching your destination. It's an experience shared with fellow travelers, each with their own stories, destinations, and expectations. Yet, within the confines of an airplane, a unique social dynamic unfolds, governed by unspoken rules that, when followed, make the journey more pleasant for everyone. In this video, we'll uncover 10 unwritten rules of flying that you're probably breaking, shedding light on the do's and don'ts that often go unnoticed but can make a world of difference at 30,000 feet. Did you know that a simple choice like where you store your carry-on can impact the entire boarding process? Or that there's a silent agreement on who gets the armrests in a row of seats? From the moment you step aboard to the second you deplane, every action, every choice, carries weight. Join us as we navigate through these 10 unwritten rules, blending etiquette with practical advice. Whether you're a seasoned flyer or preparing for your first trip, this guide will equip you with the insights to contribute to a harmonious journey, not just for yourself, but for all those sharing this unique, fleeting community in the sky. Prepare to be surprised, informed, and maybe even a little amused, as we take off on this enlightening voyage together. Chapter 1. Choosing your seat wisely. When it comes to flying, not all seats are created equal. And while you might think choosing a seat is just about legroom, there's a whole science behind making the perfect selection. Did you know that seats near the front of the plane are generally quieter and experience less turbulence? Or that window seats are cooler due to the wall being slightly insulated from the outside temperature? Here's how to pick the best spot for your next flight. First, consider what matters most to you. If getting off the plane quickly is your priority, opt for a seat near the front. Those looking for a smoother ride might prefer seats over the wings where the plane is most stable. And if you're someone who needs frequent restroom breaks, an aisle seat is your best bet to avoid disturbing your fellow passengers. But here's a tip not many know about: the last row seats often have reclining restrictions. So, if leaning back is crucial for your comfort, avoid the back of the plane. Also, engaging in a little chat with the airline staff when checking in can sometimes score you a preferable seat, or even a free upgrade if you're lucky and polite. Choosing wisely also means being considerate. For instance, families with small children should aim for bulkhead rows where they have more space and are less likely to disturb others with frequent movements. Chapter 2. The Armrest Dilemma. The age-old question of who gets the armrests, especially in the cramped quarters of economy class. This unspoken battle can cause more tension than you might expect. So, let's set the record straight. The general consensus among frequent flyers is that the middle seat gets both armrests. Why? Because having both sides enclosed, the middle seat lacks the advantages of either the window or aisle seat. But knowing the rule and applying it are two different things. If you find yourself in the middle seat, it's okay to claim your armrests, but always be mindful of your neighbor's space. A gentle nudge can signal that you're sharing the space rather than commandeering it. On the flip side, if you're in the window or aisle seat, consider offering the middle armrests to your middle seat neighbor as a gesture of goodwill. It's a small act that can make a significant difference in their comfort and your shared space harmony. However, armrest etiquette also extends beyond just the middle seat. When you're on the aisle or by the window, remember that your comfort shouldn't come at the expense of encroaching on someone else's personal space. Always aim for a balance where everyone has a bit of their own territory. And here's a little-known fact. Some armrests on aisle seats can indeed be raised, typically by pressing a button on the underside. This can provide a tad more space and ease of movement for aisle seaters. Chapter 3. Overhead Bin Courtesy. Navigating the overhead bin space is akin to playing a strategic game where courtesy and efficiency are key to victory. As planes fill up and carry-on luggage becomes the norm, the competition for that precious overhead space intensifies. But fear not, there are unwritten rules to ensure a smooth experience for everyone. Firstly, always try to place your bag above your own seat row. This simple act of consideration can prevent the domino effect of passengers having to store their luggage far from their seats, leading to congestion during boarding and deplaning. If space above your row is full, opt for the nearest available spot, but never before your row, to avoid inconveniencing those yet to board. Here's a golden rule. Larger bags go in the overhead bin, and smaller items under the seat in front of you. This maximizes available space and ensures everyone has room for their belongings. It's surprising how often this rule is overlooked, causing unnecessary hassle and delays. But what if the bins are full when you board? Politely ask a flight attendant for assistance rather than trying to force your bag into a packed bin. They're trained to handle these situations and can often find a solution that works for everyone. Interestingly, some airlines are now introducing bins that are larger and easier to access, making it simpler to store luggage. This innovation is a nod to the evolving needs of travelers and the importance of overhead bin etiquette. Chapter 4. Reclining etiquette. To recline or not to recline? That is the question that has sparked countless mid-air disagreements. The reality is, while reclining is a feature of most seats, it's essential to approach it with a sense of respect for those behind you. A good rule of thumb is to avoid reclining during mealtimes. It's difficult enough to eat on a tiny tray table without someone's seat back encroaching on your already limited space. Outside of mealtimes, a quick glance back and a gentle recline is considered polite. It gives the person behind you a heads up, allowing them to adjust their belongings or reposition themselves. Moreover, consider the length of the flight. On short hops, the need to recline might not be as strong as on a long overnight journey where everyone is trying to catch some sleep. Being mindful of the context can go a long way in maintaining peace on board. But what happens when someone reclines into your space, making you uncomfortable? It's generally best to avoid knee-jerk reactions like knee defenders or recliner jams. Instead, a polite conversation can often resolve the situation amicably. If that doesn't work, seeking help from a flight attendant is your next best bet. They're skilled in managing such disputes discreetly and fairly. Did you know that some airlines are now rethinking the recline feature, introducing seats that slide forward rather than tilt back? This innovation aims to provide comfort without compromising the space of the passenger behind, potentially revolutionizing the recline debate. Chapter 5. Managing kids and pets. Traveling with kids and pets can turn an ordinary flight into an extraordinary challenge. Yet, it's entirely possible to manage these challenges gracefully, ensuring a smooth experience not just for you, but for your fellow passengers as well. For parents, preparation is key. Packing a bag full of distractions, like toys, books, and tablets with headphones, can keep children engaged and quiet. Remember, the goal is to minimize disruption, so consider volume-controlled headphones to prevent any noise leakage. Also, snacks can be lifesavers during flights, but opt for non-messy, easy-to-eat options that won't leave your neighbors wishing they'd packed a change of clothes. Flying with pets requires equal forethought. Familiarize yourself with the airline's pet policy well in advance, as requirements vary. Small pets typically allowed in the cabin should remain in their carriers under the seat. For their comfort, bring a familiar blanket or toy to soothe them during the flight. If you anticipate anxiety or restlessness, consult your vet before flying for advice on how to keep them calm and comfortable. An interesting fact to consider: some airports now offer pet relief areas to accommodate traveling animals. Making use of these facilities before boarding can help prevent accidents mid-flight, making for a smoother journey for everyone involved. Chapter 6. Noise control. The cabin of an airplane is a shared space, and managing noise levels is crucial for maintaining a peaceful environment. From conversations to electronic devices, being mindful of the volume is a courtesy that enhances the travel experience for everyone. When it comes to personal entertainment, headphones are a must. But not just any headphones. Opt for a pair that isolates sound to your ears alone. It's surprising how much sound can escape even from earbuds, turning your private movie marathon into a public broadcast. Conversations with travel companions should be kept at a moderate volume. Airplanes have a unique acoustic environment, and what seems like a quiet chat to you can easily carry several rows in any direction. The same goes for phone calls during boarding and deplaning. Keep them brief and speak softly. Interestingly, some airlines are experimenting with quiet zones, where certain rows or sections are designated as low-noise areas, restricting children and group bookings. This reflects a growing acknowledgement of the importance of noise control for a pleasant flight experience. In the digital age, another aspect of noise control is minimizing notification sounds from electronic devices. Switching your phone to silent mode can prevent unexpected rings or alerts from disturbing the calm of the cabin. Chapter 7. Food and drink etiquette. Eating at 30,000 feet is a unique experience, with its own set of unwritten rules to ensure that everyone's flight is as enjoyable as possible. The key to good food and drink etiquette in the air? Consideration for those around you. When selecting snacks or meals to bring on board, think about smell and noise. Foods with strong odors, like tuna sandwiches or hard-boiled eggs, can permeate the cabin, creating an unpleasant environment for your fellow passengers. Similarly, foods that are noisy to eat, such as crisp packets or crunchy vegetables, can be disruptive in the close quarters of an airplane. If you're enjoying an airline meal, be mindful of how you handle your tray and utensils. Avoid banging cutlery or leaving your tray down long after you've finished eating, as it can be a hindrance to your seatmate. Here's a curious tidbit. Taste buds and sense of smell are less sensitive at high altitudes, leading airlines to adjust their recipes for more robust flavors. This might be why tomato juice is so popular on flights. It tastes better in the air. And when it comes to alcohol, moderation is key. The effects of alcohol are felt more acutely at altitude, which can lead to discomfort for you and those around you. Opting for water or juice can keep you hydrated and feeling your best throughout the flight. Chapter 8. Handling turbulence with grace. Turbulence is an inevitable part of flying, but handling it with grace is a skill that can enhance your own and others' comfort. The first step? Stay calm. Panicking or loudly expressing fear can create anxiety among other passengers, especially for those who are nervous flyers. Always listen to the crew's instructions and fasten your seatbelt when asked. If you're walking around the cabin and turbulence hits, smoothly return to your seat or use the seats for balance as you move to avoid falling. It's also considerate to check on your neighbors post-turbulence, especially if they're anxious or if items have fallen around them. A simple, "Are you okay?" can go a long way in fostering a supportive environment. Interestingly, pilots often adjust flight paths to avoid turbulence, using detailed weather reports and real-time data from other aircraft. This behind-the-scenes effort is all about minimizing discomfort for passengers, showcasing the unseen ways in which your flight experience is continuously optimized. Chapter 9. Deplaning decorum. As the flight comes to an end, the process of deplaning begins, a phase where patience and politeness are paramount. The rush to stand up the moment the seatbelt sign turns off is a common sight, yet it's one that contributes to congestion and stress. Here's how you can navigate this process more smoothly. First, remain seated until your row is called or it's clear to start moving. This not only keeps the aisle clear for those in front of you but also reduces the bottleneck effect at the overhead bins. When it's your turn to retrieve your luggage, do so efficiently, and step into the row if possible to allow others to pass by. Offering to help shorter or elderly passengers with their luggage can be a kind gesture that makes the deplaning process smoother for everyone. Remember, a little patience goes a long way, especially when everyone is eager to disembark. It's interesting to note that some airlines are experimenting with new deplaning processes, such as using multiple exits or boarding back to front, to reduce wait times. These efforts reflect a growing awareness of the importance of efficiency and civility during this final phase of the flight. Chapter 10. Being a considerate company passenger. Ultimately, the key to a pleasant flight experience lies in being considerate of those around you. From respecting personal space to assisting fellow passengers when needed, every action contributes to the overall atmosphere on board. Simple acts, like ensuring your belongings don't overflow into someone else's space or using headphones with your devices, can make a significant difference. Engaging in polite conversation or offering a smile can also create a more friendly and relaxed environment. Being mindful of the flight crew's instructions and showing appreciation for their efforts goes a long way too. After all, they're there to ensure your safety and comfort throughout the journey. Interestingly, airlines and design companies are continuously working on innovations aimed at improving the passenger experience. From seats designed to enhance personal space to technology that streamlines the boarding process, the future of flying looks set to become even more passenger-focused. In the end, flying is a communal experience, and the unwritten rules of air travel are all about mutual respect and empathy. By being mindful of our behavior and considering the impact on those around us, we can all contribute to a more enjoyable and stress-free journey.